Attempting to start the broadcast right now. We are checking our digitizing signal. We may just be live this time. We are going over to the secure YouTube hardline. Checking for signal. Checking for, are we getting through? Is our anomalous broadcast going through live right now? It seems to be. It seems to be. We are going to get this thing all wired up. We are going to stabilize the signal. We are getting together. Everything is coming up. All I need to do is get our chat from YouTube Live so we can see them. We are pulling up the screen now. We're hearing ourselves because that's what happens. Hello, Kunita. Hello, Russ. Yes, we can see you. We are coming in live. That is excellent. The live chat is up. And so we are going in. Luke turned on the thermal compensators. Thank you, Luke. Excellent. All right, we are 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Hey there, Foundation staff. This is Level 2 researcher Theron Sherman, but you can call me Sherm. Welcome to another anomalous broadcast from Site-42. For those of you unfamiliar with our show, the rundown goes like this. Number 1, I read you an SCP document or tale or GUI, something like that. Part B, I open up the floor to the community to discuss what we've read. We're often visited by SCP authors, staff, and fans, and if we're lucky, the author of the article himself shows up to share some insight. Remember that if you enjoy the show, leave a like and comment to let us know, and if you really want to help us out, become a patron at patreon.com/site42. Tonight's article, tale, group of interest format is titled Ambrose Backdoor Soho. We are lucky enough to have the author of the piece, UraniumEmpire, joining this evening, so let me unlock the doors and let him onto the camera. Join us, UraniumEmpire.
It's actually her, for the record.
I apologize. My mistake.
It's no problem. I still need to work on my voice, so yeah.
And so, thank you for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty all right. Pretty all right. Things seem to be going pretty well.
Fantastic. Is there anything you want to say to introduce this piece before we get into it?
This is a piece about a GOI that I never really kind of got. This is me trying to get it through the process of writing, I guess.
That's an interesting way to get it. Yeah, you gotta write one to really get a feel for it. All right, my idea for reading this back and forth, I'll do the first bulk introduction, and then we can trade back and forth on the menu, and we can trade back and forth on the reviews. Sound good?
Sounds all right.
All righty, let's get down to business then. Oh, and by the way, you should go on the SCP Wiki proper and pull this up in a second window, because the aesthetic of the article is actually gorgeous. The look is fantastic, the way it's all designed, so you should go check this out for yourself as well, and probably upvote it if you like it. I'm just saying, maybe. And so, Ambrose Backdoor Soho, grand opening. Fine art and fine dining, in association with the Backdoor Soho Artistic Associates, Marshall Carter and Dark LLC, and the King of Hearts Art Collective, Ambrose is proud to present Ambrose Backdoor Soho, a unique brand of contemporary art and fine dining experiences. Part art show, part dining establishment. Ambrose Backdoor Soho capitalizes on the backdoor's rich art scene to provide diners a vivid sampler of the cutting edge. Patrons will be served a 4-course meal inspired by contemporary backdoor dining, followed by a tour of an exclusive art gallery curated by Marshall Carter and Dark. Finally, the night will end with a live performance featuring up-and-coming acts in the anart scene. December 11th through 14th, 2014. First course, Scarlet Calamari, the servitor beast of the King of Dust and Blood, stuffed with finely seasoned breadcrumbs in a creamy tomato sauce. Wild caught, each serving is another beast out of the seas.
Olne corporate crostini. Roasted pork belly braised in a blood orange sauce and garnished with pickled red onions, served on crostini. locally sourced from the stress-free demon swine that eternally torment the executives of Olney Ironworks at the corporate headquarters.
Margarita alla Lindholm. Sicilian pizza made with buffalo mozzarella and a creamy tomato sauce, topped with out-of-this-world fresh tomatoes and basil, bred by reclusive parabotanist Stella Lindholm. Let the world melt around you with each taste. Second course.
Veilstead matzo ball soup. God, that one tripped me up. A unique,
You did this to you.
distinctly Malkin take on an Ashkenazi classic. You won't believe you're eating Veilstead. Fuck. I wrote this. I should be able to know how to pronounce it.
No, that's every time I write an article, I ask, why did I do this to me?
Veilsteaded meat gloss until your flesh rejuvenates right before your eyes. Not recommended for pregnant women and cancer survivors, except inexperienced flesh crafters.
Manhattan Shoggoth Chowder. The squirming, fascinating meat of a shoggoth in a rich tomato broth. Comes with seasoned crackers. Watch your meal stuff itself before your very eyes.
Disclaimer. As the shoggoth our meat is sourced from remains alive, this meal is in violation of the 7th Noahide law. The perfect Waldorf. Apples and grapes from the centennial trees of upstate New York's nameless forests. Mayonnaise sourced from the eggs of platonic chickens. Walnuts annually self-trimmed from living trees dedicated to self-perfection. Anything to elevate the hidden gem of NYC to heights of perfection.
Main course. Delmonico steak. Think you've had a Delmonico? Think again. Our Delmonico has been scientifically proven to not only taste better than, but be more of a Delmonico than those served at the Delmonico establishments of old. Proof available upon request.
Parmigiana without equal. Eggplant parmigiana stuffed with chicken parmigiana forever. It's stuffed all the way down. Disclaimer, this item physically should not exist. Order with caution.
Primavera of the old gods. The vegetable in this dish, grown long before the advent of language, have no name. They make up for that with a distinctly unique taste. Want to know what the old ones ate like? Dessert.
Choose cake. Focus on the cake. Don't worry about the choose. Some things were never meant to be known by the sapient. Gluten-free.
Oh, yay. Black and white macaroons. A decadent assortment of dual-flavored macaroons, representing a variety of chocolates and vanillas from across time and space. Feet representing a variety of chocolates and vanillas from across time and space. Savor each bite. Who knows when this shifting tides of here and now will force us to change the recipe? Is that a typo? Who knows when this shifting tides?
I think that's a typo. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all good. I'm glad I found it. Who knows when these shifting tides or the shifting tides? Who knows when the shifting tides of the here and now will force us to change the recipe?
Golden apple crumble. There's nothing supernatural about these golden apples, but double-blind tests suggests even the gods can't tell the difference. Proof available upon request.
Wine and spirits. Clown milk egg cream bourbon. Don't let the name fool you. You'd be a clown to pass this delicious take on New York City classic Up.
Bloody Mary on the rack. Jalapeno-infused vodka-based Lindholm tomato juice, garnished with a Mitatul freestanding sculpture of the chef's choice.
Golden Orange Cider. The signature drink of New York from another time and another world. Because Ambrose strives to bring our patrons the best, our oranges are guaranteed the mythological significance of that other world. Tickets, $249, plus $49 for access to the Violet Gallery. Opening night acts, House of Spades, Yellowface, Soprano, It's Free Jazz, The Music Machine, and Luna Zapata. You want to take the first one? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Soho Revisited, powered by the dark web. Now we're going to the reviews.
All right. Ambrose, as a brand, is particularly infamous for relying upon gimmicks in pursuit of customers. It's not particularly surprising. This far behind the veil, it's hard to surprise potential customers. Harder still to surprise a representative of Marshall Carter and Dark, though I'm pleased to say I was pleasantly surprised with the novelty displayed within. In accordance to my strict deiphage diet, the dishes that I ordered were the scarlet calamari, the Manhattan shoggoth chowder, the primavera of the old gods, and the cheese cake, and the golden orange cider. I'm pleased to report that not only was each course beautifully prepared, but that the establishment avoided falling to the shortcomings of a great many older deiphage establishments. I found the general gallery to be interesting enough, being a good mix of artistic medium and style. Of the selection, most would fit right at home in the den of a savvy collector. My only complaint was that, compared to the Violet Gallery, the main floor felt somewhat thematically haphazard. My biggest complaint largely regards the opening night music show. While I suppose a representative of Marshall, Carter, and Dark would be the last woman one expects to cry for artistic integrity, inviting an anti-capitalist art collective to such a naked display of conspicuous consumption was predictably disastrous, no matter how much one hid it underneath a veneer of performance art. House of Speeds and It's Free Jazz in particular, groups which I've made my distaste for quite clear, worked rather hard to subvert the established ambience. If not for Luna Zapata's hauntingly beautiful violin, I would have written off the experience and told you, the reader, not to go. I suppose, however, that some art is just not for me. As an aside, the building appears to be haunted, which is always a plus. Coming off of Miss Zapata's marvelous renditions of The Devil's Trill, I witnessed a woman disappearing into a wall. 4 stars. Abigail Del Toro.
5-star review. Certainly the art world of Earth is peculiar though from testimony through fellow illuminated ambassadors I had assumed it hostile and uninhabitable. I'm going to try that again. Certainly the art world of Earth is peculiar, though from testimony through fellow illuminated ambassadors I had assumed it hostile and uninhabitable. Having no need for the primitive sustenance, I did not partake. The music felt pleasantly grim, and the various installations were delightful diversions, especially the intermittent fiddle, the chromatic vizier. Restaurant response. Thank you for your patronage. Do note, however, that we did not schedule a fiddler during your visit. You likely heard the cellist.
Food was fucking fantastic. I really don't expect much more from Ambrose than cheap gimmicks pandering to the lowest common regional denominator. But if there's one thing I can say about the food, is that it's nearly always good in spite of such. The art, not so much. My time eating there, I counted no less than 4 performance artists, done up as famished specters straight out of one of those pretentious die-ins you'd see the liberals fawn over back in the 90s. 3 stars out of 5. Robert Stone. Restaurant response. That does not sound like the act we had scheduled for your visit. We'll investigate this matter further, but in the meantime, reimbursement may be in order.
Alright, I tried, you know? To get to the art scene, not as an artist, but as a man who goes to art galleries. I want to have fun, you know? Not be bombarded with performative woke nonsense, spearheaded by some hack who thinks she's clever. I counted about 2 times where a woman with a violin would approach me, glare sternly in my direction, and play an admittedly rather nice solo before storming off. Afterwards, I would be accosted by a series of, admittedly rather convincing, actors playing the role of, I don't know, Ghosts of Christmas? All, please don't turn off my heat, this, and give me 2 more weeks, that. Some naked attempt to tug at heartstrings. If I wanted to feel bad about dead poor people, I would have seen the all-revenant showing of Rent across the street. Food was alright, I guess. Yoshida Shoko. Restaurant response. We seem to be experiencing unexpected difficulties. Thank you for your patience.
Business is booming, and, I wanted to treat myself to a treat. I thought, hey, why not check out the new place? Because, I like checking out the new places, and I'm pretty sure I'll die if I got to eat any more Chinese food. Bad idea. To call this place a shithole will be an insult to every roach-infested shithole in this fucking city. The roaches down at the 1.618 bistro, they don't play the violin as they crawl the fucking walls. I'm not covered in human blood, and they don't beg me not to evict them. I don't have to see my fucking servers chasing them with a fucking broom. Iron H. Christ. 1 star. Helen Post review. Marcos Cohen. Restaurant response. We're sorry you feel that way. Please be patient.
Was anyone going to tell me that the property was infested by an utter deluge of ghosts? Or was I just supposed to experience that for myself? 1 star, Phi Rithipol. Restaurant response. Please not slander our establishment. Wait for Stone to find a legal loophole out of a ghost accusation, and wait for him to draft a response. Restaurant response. Our account was hacked. The intern responsible has been fired.
Restaurant response. This is just perfect. Great, cool. Close my reservation because of ongoing ghost problem. It's not like I booked it 3 weeks in advance or anything. Oh, fucking SJW cucks. Too busy coddling a bunch of millennial crybabies who can't stand a little ectoplasm. Olive Garden would never do this to me. 1 star. UraniumEmpire.
Final note. Holy heck, you've just found yourself your very own Mrs. Gentrification by Gamers Against Weed. Learn your history because it's doomed to repeat. Who is Dr. Wondertainment? Find them all and become Mr. Gamer. And then we have a long list of Mr. Gamers Against Mr. Gamers. Yeah, Mr. Gamers. Signed, Luna Zapata. Oh, the one person everyone liked. Oh well. Neat, I didn't see that coming. Man, Uranium, I don't know why you had to be so mean to them in that last note. That was just rude. Bitch move, yo. Bitch move.
God, I think my favorite thing is like this is technically like I have like aside from this, I have like 3 characters one could reasonably call like self-inserts, and I'm just so goddamn rude to them. Just my favorite thing is like just inserting myself as like either some jabroni who gets owned by an anomaly. Like in Lieutenant Pinkerton, I'm a IT technician who gets her like PC confiscated because it turned out there was an anomaly on it. And I don't know, it's just funny.
Yeah, I've got my author insert because I cameoed in Cactus's remake team up with Jade on 049, but I've never used him in anything myself. He just exists. He's grumpy. His friend died. He was sad.
I'm sorry.
All right, you got to tell me all about where this article came from now. Like, what the YouTube audience is like, what is Backdoor? What is, because this is MCD and Backdoor and Gamers Against Weed, right?
Yeah, it's like, and like technically it's also like it's also like this is part of the Trashfire canon. So like in addition to like containing Backdoor Soho, etc., it also contains one of the GOIs I made, that being like the King of Hearts art collective. But let's start with like the simple thing. Ambrose Restaurants is a sort of newerish GOI. I think it came into being around like late Series 4, early Series 5. It's basically an anomalous restaurant chain. There's not much more to it than that.
Yeah, if you need an anomalous restaurant, why not link it to this guy?
Yeah. There's some people who really hate it. ARD, just one of my favorite authors ever, and also technically my captain on like the community outreach team. Just straight up hates it. This is the only GOI he outright hates. When he wrote 4670, he specifically included like a mobile task force with the same task force designation as the task force that is typically assigned to Ambrose objects, just because he wanted to like assure that Ambrose did not exist in his verse. So naturally I went to him first for critique.
That is some hard spite. That is good job, man.
Yeah.
God, I love there is no canon.
Yeah, I love it too. Honestly, okay, Backdoor Soho. That's Backdoor Soho is it's relatively old as far as like locations of interest go. It predated Threeport. Um, it was around like back when Jorik was like making his Etam de Impevvi series, which is just very great writing. Um, just so fucking good. So that's like series 2. But it never really got expanded upon. So of course it takes place in New York, and I discover it, and I tell myself, this is the perfect place to set my stuff. And I, I guess I turned it into a crime drama inspired by the likes of Yakuza.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, like the way like the backdoor works in like my canon, the trash fire. Um, Nominally, it's controlled by the UIU, but like really, it's controlled by like 3 crime syndicates. Technically, like 2 crime syndicates and a bunch of loosely aligned mutual aid orgs. But yeah,
And okay, and while we're on the subject anyways, tell me about the trash fire? Like by title you've got my interest. What is the trash fire canon?
oh, the trash fire canon is basically just like my idea for it. Like my main idea was like there is no inherent explanation to the anomalous. The universe is just kind of some horrifying Kafka-esque nightmare, and like the horrors that infest it hate that just as much as like the people who are infested by those horrors. And B, I love the idea of like a smaller foundation that actually had to worry about like budgeting, alliances, just kind of avoiding the ire of the American government as they committed unspeakable war crimes on like American soil.
And I like a foundation with limitations too. It's
Yeah,
it's all well and good when they're like limitless resources, sailing the galaxy in faster than light trips, but sometimes you need to get a little dirty, guys.
yeah. God, I don't know. It's just so fun to like reinterpret the Foundation as just like an ankle biting trash fire, for lack of a better word. That like its biggest like the biggest advantage to working in that universe is that like most of the other groups of interest are in the same boat, so they have to work together if they want to get anything done.
Sounds like a very interesting universe to play in. It sounds like the kind of place you run like a D&D campaign. You have to have your players like balancing all of the different like
It is so fun. I think I was mostly inspired by like Fallout New Vegas, definitely Yakuza, and
now that you said Fallout New Vegas, the word I was looking for was faction. So thank you. That's exactly what I needed.
yeah, yeah. Trashfire has the Castro SCP. Nico approached me like when I told him about the canon and said, "Do you think this would fit?" And I said, "Yeah, I think this would fit," and it fit.
Can you elaborate on the Castro SCP?
Okay, so let me just try to pull it up. 3867. No, it's not 3867. It's 3874. 600 to 1.
SCP 3874.
It's honestly just so perfectly kind of embodies the spirit of it. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah.
I already like skimming it how I can see that they tried to Rasputin him, essentially.
Oh, yeah. American foreign policy was like that.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go look at this later. This looks fun. Go read SCP-3874. It looks like a good time, everybody. Oh yeah, now that you mention it, now that I know what that is, now that I see that, I'm just like, oh, that's exactly what would happen in a trash fire universe.
I think another thing, like, the name is kind of a double meaning because A, it represents like their situation, just kind of dealing with like a dumpster on fire, but just turning back to the camera, giving a thumbs up, and going back to work trying to extinguish it. But also, like, it's a reference to Gehenna, a sort of like Jewish concept of a place of destruction, which also fits because I've front loaded a bunch of like Jewish cultural stuff, mysticism, etc.
Nice. That's pretty dope. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I just really like making Jewish stories, being Jewish myself.
We just had Yossi on last week to do which SCP was that we did? It was one he wrote about the Jewish settlement.
I think silence encourages the tormentor.
That's it. 4531. This is 2 weeks of Jewish, well, related. This one's like very tangentially related.
Yeah.
Still cool. So back to the technical aspects of this article. How did the critique process go on this one? How many people did you get to see it? How did it go from beginning to end? How were the changes made?
So this article starts in May 2019 when I'm talking with like Stormbreath and some other people about like Ambrose. And so like I kind of mentioned that like one of my biggest problems with Ambrose was that I felt a lot of it was novelty for novelty's sake. And like when you read some of the formats, like Ambrose Michaeling, I will butcher that, is it's good for something that is kind of novelty. And it does like put an interesting ethnic twist on it, specifically like Filipino ethnic. There's Ambrose Thorn Valley, which is a good like example of how food might work in the End of Death universe, and also explores Sarkic cuisine. And then there's like I think my personal favorite, Ambrose London, fixed price. That's what it translates to, fixed price, which does like what I think these formats need to do, and tells most of its story in the reviews. Also, it just exploits the fact that like food reviews, especially ones where it goes horribly wrong, are some of the funniest things on earth.
You're not wrong. Bad Yelp reviews is a good way to kill an evening.
Tell me about it. With regards to, so like about 15 to 20 days later, I decide, oh shit, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So like my idea is like, novelty for novelty's sake. That sounds like a lot of those restaurants you see popping up in like gentrified areas. So I just thought of the idea of like an Ambrose restaurant that was symbolic of an ongoing gentrification issue. And like 20 days later, I think, oh yeah, this could do well with tying it into the Misters Against Weed series with Mrs. Gentrification. Originally, they were Mr. Gentrification, but I decided the Mr. series need a few more women.
Gotta shake things up a little.
Yeah. So this article is very much thanks to Kinch, who is one of the creators of Gamers Against Weed. I pitched her the idea of like basically a Mister who was a Scooby-Doo villain, except they were, I guess, the good guy in some way, since they were mostly doing it to try to keep like rent values down and just sort of like open the space for something that might be more useful to the poorer members of the community. Basically a Scooby-Doo villain if they were like a radical leftist.
I'm just thinking like, oh man, and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those pesky Republicans.
But in this case, they did get away with it.
Huzzah!
Because they're actually supernatural. Yeah.
Well, yeah, even the Scooby-Doo episodes go a really different way when the ghosts are actually ghosts.
So yeah, so I basically wrote part of it, just kind of sat on my hands writing whatever came to mind for like a few months. Then like I'd come back to it in a burst. Then I'd finished it, and I first things first, I think I asked ARD for crit because he hates Ambrose, and this is a piece that sort of deconstructs Ambrose. So like I wanted his input. He was busy. Then I like went to Kinch, and she gave me some pretty good feedback. Then Nico, he gave me some feedback that the restaurant should actually like be trying to do more with these. Both of them also gave me feedback that like this piece would be hilarious if like they just degenerated into like PR speak. Just like that sort of cold, inhumane, please stand by, as things went further and further to shit.
Please do not slander our restaurant.
I think that's my favorite like section.
There's got to be a legal loophole about this whole ghost thing. Well,
I imagine like since like the back door is technically under the jurisdiction of the FBI, there'd be a legal definition for what constitutes a ghost. I just don't know if they're getting out of it. But you can find a loophole anywhere. But yeah, I asked ARD, should I wait until after 5K posting? And then I did it anyway because I hate waiting.
Same here. You put something up during 5K. It's going to take a little time, but it's good. So you got that going for you, which is nice.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Yeah. Speaking of 5K, as we wind this down, you mentioned that you had some recommendations for some 5Ks that you liked.
Oh, definitely. There's, of course, Peasol's Proposal, A Death in Containment, which is basically Agatha Christie if she was like a cool millennial.
Okay.
I'd probably put that in the worst way possible.
Or the best way possible.
Possibly. Peasol's a great writer. He wrote 3512, which is one of my favorites of 3K. Nameless Mediocres, Let There Be Bright. I'm just sort of a sucker for science fiction. Isolated Human has to deal with robot stories. That one's a good one. This one's really only for adults, and it says as much. Chewbacca's 5K, The Eightfold Path. I don't know what I can say without like either spoiling it or getting into stuff that would get us demonetized, but it's pretty goddamn neat. ARD was busy because he was working on his 5K. His, Nico's, and Rounder House's specifically, Made in Heaven it was originally supposed to be an 001, and let me tell you, there is no canon. You need to go into that piece knowing that there is no canon.
Need a starting line of don't look for anything else on the wiki for this.
Yeah.
How many 5Ks are we up to right now?
We're at like a fair amount. Like mine is... I posted like mine like kind of immediately because I had already had it done, and yeah, we're up to
there. Nice. Yeah, if you look at the top rated pages list in the last 30 days, at least 60-70% of them are 5Ks, which is impressive that this many people wrote that like heavy of an article for this. Like, good job, guys.
Yeah.
I am also involved in I did some sound work for Shaggy's and Wode's 5K article, so I'm part of that in a very tertiary way.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, it's Wodenaz. You can often expect good technical things from him, and Shaggy, you can often expect just completely off the wall stuff that's still really good.
Oh no, when Shaggy came to me, I was just like, I'm just happy to be involved in the thing you're doing. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. Sorry.
So wait, which one's yours?
Mine is There Is No Escape from the Bottomless Pit.
Oh yeah, okay, I found that one. Yes. I still want to like. When does the 5K contest end? Do you know?
The posting period ends on the 21st. The voting period ends on the 4th of February.
4th of February. Okay, so there's still like, there's 2 days to post, and then, like, what is that, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks to vote. So yes, everybody go read some 5Ks and vote on them and things like that. Especially that super dope, top rated, obviously going to be the winner, SCP-5000. No title required.
Fucking Tanhani. That dude's a fucking powerhouse. Like, the dude fucking writes Bobble the Clown, disappears for fuck all, comes back, writes whatever, disappears for fuck all. That one. Yeah, Nico is winning 5K.
You can't beat that spooky ghost.
Yeah, you can't. I'd love to... But fucking Tanhani is... Can I just gush about, like, authors now?
Yeah, we got a minute. Dude, go ahead, give us the rundown.
Okay, Tanhani. He writes Bobble the Clown, fucks off, writes some other skips in, like, series fucking 3, fucks off, comes back, I think, writes fucking Jessica Lambert, which is, like, one of the greatest character pieces in series 4, fucks off, comes back, writes 5 articles in a fucking week, gets features 2 articles on Peacel's like amazing fucking SCP Cafe podcast twice in a row. This man does not stop. He does. And I like always associate him with like that one Stormcloak NPC from Skyrim, because that was his like Discord profile picture for a while. And that like vacant Skyrim expression just sort of fits like the raw sort of energy that emanates from Tanhani.
Just gonna show up, get shit done, get out, come back, more shit, get out, come back, more shit done.
Yeah, if like any of you are reading right now and you have to take like one piece of advice, or one or two, go on Tanhani's author page, pick a number, go down the rabbit hole.
Throw a dart at it.
Throw a dart at it. That's how a chimp became like the 22nd most successful person on Wall Street.
All right. Well, do you have any closing notes for tonight's episode?
If you have the financial capacity, please donate to help stop the Australian wildfires. If it's okay if you don't. What you do with your money is your own, and maybe there are other ways. Maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you don't want to. That's all right.
I mean, some people just want to watch the continent burn.
Yeah. Maybe. Otherwise, keep Dr. Gears in your prayers if you pray. He was recently diagnosed with stage 1 cancer of the kidney, which is the equivalent of probably someone shooting you with a .22 caliber rifle and it only kind of grazing your thigh, but still pretty shitty since, cancer.
Yeah.
But even so, if you pray, keep him in your prayers. If you don't, I don't know, try sending energy his way. Try say something nice, I guess, to him, kind of bring him up. Dr. Gears is one of the the 3 most instrumental people to the SCP wiki, with Fritz Willy, the person who made the wiki, and Motto42, who wrote 173. He was there since before even the Edit This wiki was up. He is...
As Modern Erasmus put it, if Moto is the Alexander Hamilton and Fritz Willy is the some other guy of the Founding Fathers, Gears is the SCP's George Washington. Just picked it up, put it on his back, and did what he had to do and carried the site for a decade or more.
Yeah, so send kind words his way, prayers, money if he starts a GoFundMe. If you want to.
If he wants to, if he feels that's the way it goes, then there will be support, I'm certain. It's hard to ask about that, because you're asking about someone's personal financial position. But in the same point, a lot of us live in America where healthcare is kind of garbage. So when you hear about that, that's kind of the first thing we think about now. Sad but true.
Yeah. But just send whatever positive things you can find his way.
Send some love and light into the universe for the people you care about, for the people you don't care about, but for the people who need it, first and foremost.
Yeah. This universe sucks, but it doesn't have to suck that bad.
It doesn't need to be a literal trash fire. We have a canon for that already.
That's actually, I think the general theme of the trash fire, the world sucks, but, we can make it better. So should we not make it better?
We should make it better.
All right. It's been nice.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, Uranium.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Indeed. Make sure, everybody in the audience, if you enjoyed Ambrose Backdoor Soho, you go and upvote that. That is important. And as our final sign-off for the evening, that is the end of our show. Thank you to Uranium and all of our guests in the YouTube chat for joining us. Remember to like, subscribe, YouTube things, become a patron if you'd like to support the show. And we will see you at our next Anomalous Broadcast from Site-42. Good night and good luck, Foundation staff.
Black Eagle's best house.
Say that again?
Black Eagle's best house.
Black Eagle's best house?
Yes.
Is there an explanation for this? Do I need to know?
Fire Emblem 3 houses.
I don't know anything about Fire Emblem. I don't know what's going on. What happened? Oh, I get it. Now you're just memeing. Damn it! I see what you did there. Oh, now I'm on. I was so confused. I was so lost. Okay, so yes, Black Eagle is apparently the best house. I do not know, so I say it is so. Done. Fully endorsed. Whatever.
All right.
Good night, Uranium.
Bye.
Good night, audience. Stop broadcast. We're through here. We're going home. It's over. Broadcast done. Love you guys. See you next week.